Alright, so I think we are back. This is another live stream, the third attempt. Hopefully the third attempt is official. Hopefully I do not have to worry about this again. Does anyone see my screen? Am I live or not? We're just going to wait here until about 3:30 and make sure this is all working this time in. This ain't going to fail again. This is the latest update on Tropical Storm Ernesto. Start streaming. I think we are good here. I don't even know if this is currently working. Let me have another. Let me see here. We're gonna go to my studios and just. Is this the wrong? I do not know if anything is working right now. I'm just having bad luck here. I'm officially having just bad luck right now. Alright, so I am streaming. Okay, okay. Alright, so we are live. So, for people tuning in here, we are sorry about the long waiting beginning of this. I was making sure everything was working. I just got full knowledge that it is working. Alright. Okay. I do not know if anything is working. Okay. We are live. Hello, South. Okay, what's up, everyone? Alright, so I am streaming. Okay. Sorry that if there is a lag. This is the first stream. I'm just trying to see if this is working. Alright, so
full knowledge.
alright, so if you guys have any questions or concerns, leave them down below. But here it is, Tropical Storm Ernesto, going to be impacting Puerto Rico. As of satellite imagery, we do see some deep thunderstorm convection developing near the core of the system. We're going to be taking a look at the National Hurricane Center description of what they are talking about. This is now a 60-mile-an-hour tropical storm. We are going to be seeing some impacts into Puerto Rico, and I've noticed a bit of a shift to the west. United States is probably 99% out of this now of having a direct impact or many or major impacts. Probably some of the impacts will be towards on the coast of waves and some higher surf, but for now we're going to be having to take a look at Puerto Rico in the short term. I'll be answering if Bermuda is going to be impacted here and Nova Scotia and Canada, because shockingly for the last 6 years, if this storm makes landfall in Canada, it would have been the 6th year in a row of Canada having some type of hurricane or major impact out of the tropics. So this is the core of the system. We're going to be taking a look at radar features, the models, and everything. Sorry about the beginning of the live stream again. It was a little interesting start. I was seeing if I was live and stuff, seeing if this was working. But let's take a look at the satellite imagery. So we take a look at satellite imagery and we notice a few things here. A tightening core, definitely heading west-northwest here in this deep thunderstorm convection. We do have more thunderstorm convection wrapping itself around the center. But there's another thing we notice, and this is the negative to the storm, and it's good for Puerto Rico if this continues, and it's on the northern side. I don't know if you guys can spot it out. We have outflow boundaries. You can see we have outflow boundaries on the western side of this system, the northern side. It is starting to get a little bit better on the northern side with its outflow boundaries. But questions you guys might have is, what's an outflow boundary? An outflow boundary is dry air. And when you see those thunderstorms having like a boundary straight line, it means that thunderstorms are rising and collapsing when they rise because of the atmosphere being in dry air. We're noticing on the northern side it's starting to erode, decay here. Still some on this western side of the storm, so that could impact its development for right now. If we continue to take a look at like Puerto Rico, Dominican, we're starting to see some showers and thunderstorms impacting Puerto Rico. Like I said, there is some dry air in this, but currently to the core, not too much, and we're going to be dealing with the beginning of thorough maximum. We have that when the sun goes down because the temperature in the air, or no, it's thorough minimum, thorough maximum. It's when the sun goes down and the sun rises. You can tell there is a vicious swirl within the low-level center. It is strengthening, and another thing that we can look at is aircraft, and that's recon. And we're noticing recon picking up a bit stronger of a system than expected. On the northeastern side of this system, we have found winds up to 60 miles an hour, even gusts up to near hurricane force in these bands. We do notice we do have a strong vortex on the southeastern side here of about 50 to about 60 miles an hour. So it's not just the northeastern side, it's the southeastern side of this. And then the north side, pretty far away from this, you can tell we do have some tropical storm, anywhere 40 to about 45 miles an hour winds. But one thing I will talk about is the southwestern and the northwestern side. We're not noticing very strong winds on these sides here of the Atlantic. Alright, if you guys have any comments or concerns, please leave them down below. I'll get them as soon as possible. You can tell on the northern side and southwestern side, we are dealing with maybe anywhere from 5 to 20 knots of winds. Southern side looks like it's a bit stronger than before, so we're going to have to see if we do have a way tighter closed low-level center. Once again, dry air is impacting this system quite a bit, but we're going to have to see how this continues to take place. Any questions? Anyone in the chat? Does anyone have a question or two? Leave them down below. There is the outline of Puerto Rico. Still quite a far away. We're going to see those impacts as we get later into the evening and tonight. Let's go to another part of recon. These are some drop sons. Max wind band here. We noticed they are finding about 51 knots in the surface. So if you put that into miles an hour, that's about 60 to 65 mile an hour winds at the surface. This is clearly the surface, and we do see 1,003 millibar pressure in that, so I do think pressures are probably a bit lower. The eye in this, we do notice now definitely strengthening, 1,002 millibar low level center here. The surface is at 2,002 millibars. Currently on the National Hurricane Center, if we take a look at the National Hurricane Center and read some of its discussions here, we see as a 2 p.m. update, 1,003 millibars. So now we're starting to see about 1,002, 1,001. So it's definitely almost in the sub 90s. But big thing is we're now finding some surface winds up to 60 to about 65 miles an hour. So once the pressure can get a bit lower and we see quite a bit of strengthening within this, we're going to be able to see this. Alright, so now I definitely see the live stream. So we are definitely live. We're going to be live for about, I would say, quite a bit here. About an hour and a half is the goal here for the live stream. If you have any questions or concerns, please leave them down below. First stream here. Alright. So now we're taking a look. It's moving about west-northwest at 18,003 millibars. 60 mile an hour storm. Alright. So let's go right into here. We see on some rainfall potential. Why not? Let's look at the rainfall potential. That's the first thing we looked at. And we do see this was around the 12 UTC time. Next update's the later on. But as of latest rainfall, if you guys are in southern Puerto Rico, in southern the island, we do see 6 to 8 inches of rain. In the mountains, you can have mudslides, some big time flooding, washed roadways, and all that. But they do say 8+ locally. Let's circle that right there. 8+ locally. And some of those training rain bands, you could have some heavier rainfall rates than expected. That's why the weather service down there is already showing that. Some of these islands in the Virgin Islands, we can see about 2 to 4 to maybe 4 to 6. Closer to Puerto Rico, probably more of that 6 to 8 to even 8+. So we're going to be taking a look at the rainfall for Puerto Rico and on with that. Peak surge for Puerto Rico, anywhere 1 to 3 feet on average. If you guys are near St. John, 1 to 3 feet. St. Thomas and St. John, 1 to 3 feet. St. Croixix, or however you say that, 1 to 3 feet. some of these other islands 1 to 3 feet. I wouldn't be surprised maybe up to maybe 2 to 4 feet, depending how strong this is going to get. So that is the storm surge here. So let's take a look at the discussion here. So this is the 11 a.m. discussion. Ernesto center pass near over Guadalupe and Montserrat, whatever you, however, sorry you guys if I'm mispronouncing those islands, but let's continue this morning, and is now located just south of St. Kitts and Nevis. Aircraft data, satellite imagery, and radar data shows the storm is becoming better organized, and there is some indications that they do state of an inner core development. Earlier NOAA hurricane hunters support maximum winds about 40 knots and giving improved structure since and consistent of the Dorvax estimate from TAFB and the SAB. The initial intensity is set at 45 miles an hour. That was the 11 a.m. update. Then the 2 p.m. update came out at about 2:10 and said this was actually a bit stronger. Instead of a 50 mile an hour storm, we are looking at a 60 mile an hour storm with 1,003 millibars. So we're going to be taking a look at recon and all their passes they do see. And one thing I will say is we still have weak winds on the southwestern side. Over here, for some reason, we're not seeing strong winds. So if you guys are in the southwestern side of this, you guys are probably only seeing about 10 to 20 miles an hour winds. Not even strong winds. Not even depression support winds. But on the southern side, you're seeing about 20 to about 40 mile an hour winds. And then the southeastern side, 45, 50, even 55 miles an hour. And then right near the core, about 60 miles an hour. And then on the northwestern side, or northeastern side, my bad, about 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gust. So definitely showing signs of strengthening, taking a bit longer than I kind of thought on that southwestern side here. This is, once again, you could tell some weak winds, some different angles of the winds they're finding. So it's not that strong of winds coming out of this side and fully wrapping around this low level center. Alright, it's not that strong of winds. The stronger winds are occurring on this side of the storm. And if you guys start getting impacts right away, we can see that a bit. Hello. Alright, just responded to you there. Sorry about the stream here. I will say, if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe and like and share this with other people. Alright. So let recon do its thing, and let's take a look back at satellite imagery quickly, and then we're going to take a look at the environment and then the models and the tracks, because I know everybody's here for the spaghetti models and tracks of this system. And once again, there is the satellite imagery really popping out that deep thunderstorm convection trying to develop in that core. Once again, there is some dry air, so we can see some problems with that. So let's take a look. Sorry about that. So actually, this is 18Z. They do indicate this is still a 60 mile an hour tropical storm with 1,001 millibars as of the tropical tidbits. Usually that does run right. So we take a look here. I'm going to like to take a look at two different areas. We're going to be looking at the 12Z and 18Z of the track guidance. So let's take a look at the 12Z run. And let's take a look at the 18Z run. What do we see different? Alright, we see a noticeable major shift with the track guidance. On the latest track guidance, we do see most of the models. The National Hurricane Center is the only one now takes it right over Bermuda. Right around there. Most of the track guidance has now shifted for maybe less impacts to Bermuda and probably not landfall. And we're going to have to see as of the ZRZ and see if this continues to shift. Because if we take a look at HERF and HAFs, we can see it's getting pretty close to the New England and Canada area. Or does it shift back? Actually, there's Bermuda. So, actually, Bermuda's way out of this now quite a bit. Probably even the National Hurricane Center is probably going to shift their track guidance all the way over here. So, probably you can expect a pretty good shift within the track guidance of the latest here. If we take, this is for Bermuda. So we have some good news if you guys are in Bermuda or know anyone in Bermuda. We have seen a shift to the west. Let's take a look at the last run of these spaghetti models. Yeah, right over Bermuda. But let's take a look at this. You see that noticeable shift? A pretty dramatic shift, if you ask me. Closer to Puerto Rico, not really actually. Puerto Rico still get Dodge actually, so pretty interesting there. So let's take a now look at some of the models here. Any questions? Alright. Let's take a little second here. Let's copy the link. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. We're just waiting a little bit for some more people to come. Because I don't want to talk to myself about this all. I know you guys are waiting here. Alright, let's get back right into here in this one. Alright, let's take a look at the models and the data of this storm. So this is the, okay, what is a good model to take a look at? We're going to take a look at the HERF parent. This is a hurricane model. The latest run here, the 12Z, the HERF parent, it's just a wider view, indicates that this is going to be in the sub-90s just once it turns north of Puerto Rico. Pretty much becomes a hurricane right before Puerto Rico. Question is, when does it make that turn? Will be the question, but this does become a fairly strong Cat 2 hurricane and even a Category 3 hurricane. But let's take a look at some of these runs here. Alright. We notice a pretty big shift in the models. See that? Look at that. This is about 3 runs ago. Bermuda was right here. And now look. Look at that shift. And then we kind of see that go north. And the only thing the island of Bermuda sees is about 40-mile-an-hour tropical storm force winds with some outer bands. That is way better than a few runs ago. We were seeing about major hurricane force winds directly on Bermuda. Alright. That's major changes with the HRF. But we do see that kind of continue to go north. This becomes a Cat 3 strong, maybe even a Category 4. There is Canada. There is a high pressure pushing everything. So we have two things going on here. Cold front, and we kind of got a high pressure kind of trying to lead this in here. Alright, really trying to keep this in force going north into like Maine or Canada. Could that trend to be the case? I do think it is possible. But we're going to just have to see. The HRF model, that's the furthest it goes out. We look at another hurricane model. We notice the change too. Look at that. Much closer than previous thought. I mean, look at that. And all the model runs. This has been about all day today of a consecutive west push. And this is a, once again, 940. This is even a 938 just up there, you guys. I mean, this is a Cat 4, Cat 5 hurricane in the North Atlantic here. That will be probably history. I don't remember seeing a Cat 5 hurricane this far north. But these are hurricane models. They sometimes overestimate. But if Canada did get impacted, that will be the worst in these 6 years. When we had Dorian and some other storms that impacted Canada. Sorry that I just yawned. We take a look at the HAFS B model. We see, I mean, still a Cat 4 hurricane, Cat 5 hurricane. I don't think that's going to be that strong going into New England. But close, yes, I do think that is possible. Alright, I do think that is pretty possible. Alright. Current views. Alright. Current views right there. Let's have a quick update on aircraft. Make sure. And yeah, they haven't even moved. Yeah, they do mark that as now 1,002. So it went down 2 millibars since the last look of things. If we take a... We pretty much took a look at all the hurricane models. Alright. Let's give this give me just 1 second. Let me just quickly do something here. I will say shout out. I have a few shout outs. Pat's Path Predictor. He's a awesome friend of mine's. Awesome weather dude. And then please support another one. Ethan WX. I do have them down below. I did post that in my earlier post. Shouting them out. They're great YouTubers. Ethan does a lot of space and graphic stuff. So please support of what he does. It's very cool. He's a great friend of mine, a great friend of ours in the weather community. And Pat's Path Predictor is another great friend and another guy I inspired to. And he's a great guy to watch. And I will say he does have a live stream, so please go to him for your live stream too. anything else. So Vive views. Alright. Alright. So let's take a look at the GFS model. Sorry if this stream is kind of boring. It's just seeing how this all stuff works. And I have never done a stream, so please support that here. But there's the GFS model. We do see it does go north of Puerto Rico. And I did show you guys the hurricane models having a shift to the west. And some of the spaghetti models. Alright. We kind of look at this and, you know, Bahamas, I do not think you guys are going to really be impacted. Maybe some higher surf and stronger waves. Puerto Rico, you guys are now starting to see your impacts here. Does this become a hurricane before Puerto Rico? That's still unquestionable. But regardless, we are going to see heavy rain, strong winds, some road closures, washed away roads, tree damage. If you guys have any loose objects, please drop them down because this storm is definitely starting to roll in. We do see with the GFS, this does go north, and it does not directly impact Bermuda. And if we take a run back, a few runs, you can kind of see this has kind of trended a bit faster and a bit further away of Bermuda. But then we look at the northeast, like New England area. We do see some chances for Maine, even I would say Cape Cod. I wouldn't rule out Cape Cod getting impacted with this because we could see the new 18Z have another huge shift. And pretty much Cape Cod, you guys are now dealing with some impacts. So we're going to really have to watch that. This does scrape Canada and does make a landfall. Another landfall as a very powerful storm with some heavy rain, strong winds. And then there it is. Here goes Ernesto into the Maritimes of the Canada. And then into like Alaska. I don't even know what you call these. Europe it goes into. Some even snow potentially in some of the colder area. We look further out. The tropics are, for the GFS, kind of just dead at that point. But we're going to have to just see how this all plays a big view in this. But the shift to the west has been noticeable. If we take a look at the European model, we do notice everyone, is my stream still working? Leave a comment down below making sure my stream is still going. But there it is, the European model. And the European model kind of has to turn early still. And it has shifted a bit towards Bermuda, but it's still on the eastern side of Bermuda. I don't think the Euro is going to be right. I think this is going to shift towards the west again in the next run. Probably the 18Z and the 0Z to the west. Big updates is around the 5 p.m. o'clock. We're going to have the National Hurricane Center give an update and a discussion. We're going to have the new models coming out like the Icon, the GFS, its own ensembles. Pretty major here. But let's take a look at something we haven't looked at yet. And that's microwave imagery here. Because they were talking about a core developing. So we're going to take a look at microwave imagery of this storm. And see how this is. If you guys are new, please subscribe and like. And share this with other people. Once again, first stream, probably not the last. We're going to have definitely more streams to come. But there it is, Ernesto. And a lot of thunderstorm convection, deep thunderstorm convection. But there it is. Do we see any core? Yeah, it's a little bit of a core. We do notice a bit of a core trying to develop. Kind of like right. Okay, we do see that actually. I wasn't expecting. It's like kind of an eye feature right around here. of an eye feature trying to develop on microwave imagery. Once that core can get better organized and you start seeing an eye wall, this is probably going to start rapidly strengthening into a bigger storm. Look at that. That's pretty unique that we actually see that on microwave imagery. That's not good because with a developing core means strengthening faster. Is anyone for Puerto Rico? Leave the comment down below. If you guys are in St. Kitts and the Nevis and Agule St. Martin, you guys are definitely dealing with some rain showers and some rain bands out of this, some gusty winds too. I wouldn't be surprised. Once again, let's take a look at aircraft and make sure nothing big and new is updated. And we do notice, oh, the winds have gone up. We do notice the winds have gone up. That's probably because they are turning that way. We're going to have to see how this all pictures out here. Satellite imagery is out. The main one. I do not know if mesoscale is. I like to look at mesoscale because it gives you more of a minute. It gives you an like every 10-second update. And it gives you like a live view of the thunderstorms blowing up within the sky. Yeah, look at that minicast. You're starting to notice some more banding to the western side of the system. You can see those deep thunderstorm convections here through this storm. We're going to have to see if this does go a little bit more south, because I do think the low-level center is a bit off of the mid-level center currently. So maybe that's why we're not seeing some rapid intensification. Very curious on the new National Hurricane Center update here. We have been live now for 34 minutes. So, if there's no more comments or concerns, I'm probably going to get off here in about 10 or so minutes because of everything. Nothing new with the models. Only thing is the western shift. Storm is still strengthening here. Let's actually get a Puerto Rico. Let's see if we can get a Let's see if we can get a... Let me see if I can get a good radar here. Let's see if we can get some weather radars here. National Weather Service. Let's try this here. We're trying to find a core on radar that we can... Oh, never mind. That's just the convection spree of this system. Let's go back here. Alright, we're just going to look at the National Weather Service. Oh, wait. Will it show the core? Yes, it should. So there it is. the core kind of, it's really not a developing core. I don't see a very major developing core out of this currently. That is currently, right now. But looks like maybe a little southern shift in the core, if so. That means maybe a GFS shift to the west again. Or whatever happens with the system. There it is, you guys. That deep thunderstorm convection. Really exploding here. We're going to have to see how this continues to show here. Let's look at a website. Mike's weather page. Let's look at some of the wind shear and stuff quickly. If his website wants to work for me. If not, we're chilling. Alright. Okay, see, I just had to upload that. His page is like very slow for me right now. I don't know if it's the computer or what. No. So there it is, some cyclonic flow. Still some wind shear, I would say. There's definitely some wind shear to north of Puerto Rico. Not the best cyclonic flow, but there's definitely breathing within the system. Is there lightning? No. I know was some indications of some lightning. There is probably strikes there and there, frame to frame, but nothing too concerning about the lightning. At least I don't think here. Last time I looked at lightning, there was like no lightning. But maybe there is some more lightning now. Yeah, I don't see any lightning on this. Oh, there is some lightning to the south of the core, but nothing within the center. You can definitely see those outflow boundaries still kind of going on the northern side. Means some drier and some unstable. Some stable drier, I mean. Any questions or concerns before I end the stream here? This is 4:09. New tropical update around the 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock update. We're going to have to see what they do put aircraft here. They do have Ernesto 8 mission going into this now, so they've been doing that a lot now. So I wonder if, I think this is done. Aircraft Ernesto 7 is done, and they're just gonna go and keep going back and forth here. They've been doing that with Ernesto, really ranking up these passes, trying to get the best data in. National Ranking Center, I do think they will nudge it a bit to the west here, a little away from the islands there, but for that, that's really it, you guys. Nothing too major for the United States. We're looking at some other tropics, and right now it looks quite quiet. Any questions? Any questions? Anyone? I don't see any questions. Alright. Let's take a look at satellite imagery for the last time, and then I'm probably going to end the stream.